Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. I will demonstrate again how we can understand words better from the sounds alone. When we hear sounds, we immediately hear very quickly if they are somewhere high, low, in the middle, and how they connect together, and immediately our mind also focuses as almost like a physical orientation in space and time. We orientate ourselves into the right direction. And I will demonstrate again by some words. The words are voice, noise, choice, and moist. How quickly we should actually also have the correct references. And in the previous video I showed you that there is a scheme behind my theory, and this exists already in numerology, that all the letters are into a certain category. But I also go further than just with numbers. These are categories that are related with the way how we orientate ourselves upon the world, and I can see it is somewhat all the orientation that we do are somewhat in between the very recognizable and the hardly recognizable. It gives you degrees, and also not just degrees, but also ways to go from the known to the unknown and make a connection and see how the connections make, or see that they will be connecting after a while and so on. So we will involve also elements of time. So I already said, there's a part that we see very well and we can imagine it very well. These are the first category, the known parts. And then they have also some evolution, that we have some adaptation, and the unknown parts, which we still hear, but you can't imagine it visually or visualize it very well. But I will go a bit further with these examples. I will use the same scheme, not just to go from known to unknown, but I see it as a physical references as well, from what I know and for what is something else, from someone else, and so on. So these categories are also like, I will start from the parts that I know. I have some communicating area where I use some letters as a reference there, and I have the other, or the unknown. So when I see the things very well, I recognize they are very physical and they are physical references. That's where I recognize the things. If I hardly hear where they come from, I try to distinct the elements. That's a different category. So with voice, noise, and so on, we will show you how they are in the category, and we can quickly actually see where our reference points are lying. So you see here, we have the fixed elements, we have the evolving elements, and we have the adapting elements, where we have to adapt to the other, to something else, to the unknown. So it's not part of what we know, so we have to adapt a little bit and place it somewhere somewhere else. So we will start with voice. That's our first word. And we immediately start with the V, which is from the last category. So that means also here is very quickly what the references are with the letters. I will come to that quickly. But the V is actually about the category of material, that we say that it's no longer what we know, that's not our material, but it lies somewhere else. So we are putting it already at some other point. So we have then, or it could be from us, but it could be from others, it could evolve, it could change. The element of time is there, and the element of adaptation is there. The reference, or the main frame, is the adaptation. So that's why you have here the arrows. You have a switching of material from one part to the other. That's already what you experience there with the V. And the O, that's what we will do with the O. We will put an environment around it, because it says, okay, this is the environment, this is the space that is involved. So it involves, of course, all the materials that can be from our position or from the other position, the whole thing. And that's the area in which we can work, and that's the border of our area in which we work. So that we have already the second letter, the O, the VO, and we have here already. And the E is then only written, it's actually, yeah, you fill it in. So how do you fill it in? So there you have to fill it in that space. You have to fill in where, yeah, the material is having an interchange in that part, and we fill it in. Well, we'll just here fill it in as the Y, also fill it in between the lines. With the C, I will connect the dots. It's a bit more easier, less easy, because I can't say which dots, what do I recognize, which material do I have, which material is already interconnecting. I don't know at this point, but so, okay, I take some references just to make you understand. And then the last letter is the S. The S is, of course, the sound. The S is always at the top of what we understand. It's in between what we see and what we hear. The whole range there, it's the interconnections and the effect of what it has. It's the whole frame of possibilities of effects at the end, what we can have. That's the area where it is. That's where the effects of everything is. And the A at the end actually simply says it's where the evolution, where the energy lies. It's also not really a sound that you pronounce. It's only written, but it gives you a reference. So the reference is then easy to understand. It's a bit sketchy, sorry for that, but you can understand that it is the material that goes from one connection to another, or can be has an interconnection. You hear it with the S at the top. It's of a lot of references that you don't know where it starts from, you don't know where it comes from, but you find the connections via the C. You see the connections, and you hear then the voice. So you hear something, you might not understand everything, but you can hear the voice. I hope you have more or less the description already underlying, that you understand it, how the description is also there in the letters. Let's go to noise. It's a different position. It doesn't start from the V or changing material in time and in position between I and U. No, this is about N. The N is in the middle, in between I and U, in between the known and the unknown. It's the material that also can be anywhere, but here it is used as a communicating area. So it's taken out as material, and the material can also be, just like with voice, anywhere, but it's not a positioning. It's not saying like, oh, there it belongs to you and then it belongs to me. Here it is more like it's material. I can take it out and I'm going to talk about that material. Now, the next thing will be, of course, again, what's the environment of this N? Environment here, I take the environment to it. So the environment is a bit larger than the area in which it exists. So it's the area, one area extra, just like I have my body, and the environment is to where I can reach with my body. That's the environment of my body. It's still reachable from with my arms and my legs, and until there is my environment. If it's already further away, it's no longer my own bodily environment. It's already going further. That's, I think, more or less the definition of what you can say. Like, okay, there is the most easy association that you can make with O. It's one environment further. And the E is then has to fill it in, has to fill in that environment. So that environment is filled in with S or with G also in between, the y sound in between what you have, and the S again fills it in the utmost effect, the utmost effect of it, add some extra effect to it. So actually you see that it's filled in between the borders of what the materials that are interchanging. It is a bit like, it is not really the same thing as communicating. It is filling in, and it's actually filling in a bit gravely. And so the noise is not really helping the communication in that matter. You try to to have it to take material out, but it's just filling in the material. I can't say noise is always disturbing. The noise is just like sound as well, but it is filled in completely in that area, in that environment. That's how you can understand the noise as a combination of letters. And with the E, of course, it's again the reference at the end. So the end effect is how this also evolves in time and so on. It is connected in time. It's connected in a connecting area in time. The choice, how do you see that? So here the choice it starts from a different sound, and the rest is filled in with similar elements. So the C, I will have the C is then at the edge of what I know, but I have to take the material that I know, but there are some differences at the edges. So, and I connect, of course, these physical differences. But it's not with the sound of C, it's with the sound of ch, and it is written as C and H is about spatial references. The spatial references are in between the I and the U, in between the known and the unknown. It's the full range of area. Of course, where do I have it? It's then in that area, in between that area of interconnections of similar elements and how wide they are, how big they are. You can easily have the frame there. The H is actually the frame, and the frame is framed to the interconnections that are connected to it, to the places that where it belongs. So that's, I have no more other options than this area, I think. And as a ch with a s, it has the full range again of interactions at the edges, as so that gives you also, it's almost like you already have the interconnection between all these points in this space are there at the borders. What I have the next letter is the O, so is the environment. Within which environment does this exist? I'll take this environment, I add this environment, and at the end with the G's and the S as well as the in-betweens and the full effect that it will have. I have some interactions. It's a bit sketchy, I know, but the choice, especially with the C, the double C, will emphasize again on all the options that I have there, will have an interaction between the choices as well. It's a sketch, it's just an example. Maybe you can, I can do it better, maybe you can do it better, but it goes already into the direction that you say, okay, if you want, you can understand how the letter combinations are pinpointing or directing towards what it's actually trying to say. Moist starts from a different letter, from the M. Where is the M? It's that in that area of what we know. It's about the physical things. We know it's physical. It's the physical form is extending, so it is in that area. Add the O to it, add the environment to it. So the environment, it can be at the two positions or at the combination of positions. So I have the environment, which keeps it very close to the physical area, to the area that we know. So it's that physical area, as you see, that is associated there. The physical area is the first one. The unknown area is the second one. I add the E. The E is of course in the two direction. It also comes from somewhere else, but it is added. Where is it added? At the point where I landed, so the M to the O, so it's in between the M and the O, so I don't have many options. It's there that it will be inserted something new. Something new will be inserted there. What will be inserted? Again, I have this S form, or I will have this interaction. I have the in-between forms there. So if I do that, I'll put them in there. And then I conclude it with the T or the position, the positioning, so that I find a position. Then I should have something that expresses moist. Is it convincing enough? I'm not sure, but it is describing that it is physical. It's very close to the physical area. It's in the environment. The environment, it is sensed there with the S. It's sensed there, and I can place it. I can use it. I can give it a function there with the T, and that's where I can sense the moisture just in the environment of the physical world. You can associate it easily from the letters alone, and that's what I was trying to say. So the conclusion is, if I use these letters and so on, the O will go from, with my vision, try to visualize a focus in which I will have my main emphasis, where everything is happening. So that's what the O, the choice of O will depend on the letter that comes before that. So that's why the environment with the moisture was clear to the physical. With the voice, it was because it was interaction between two positions, the me and you. It was between two people, let's say, or between intercommunication of a larger area. So the O there was larger. You can visualize it there. The E or the Y, it's and the S is both are in the hearing, so we don't know very well beforehand what it is. So we have to listen. We have to listen to the new attentions, the attentions in the E or the Y, what comes to us, and the S, and what effect that will bring. It's more or less the description of these sounds and how we associate them quickly. This was a sketchy association. This was a sketchy explanation, but I hope it was a contribution that gives you an idea, okay, in which direction the letter combinations are going and how we can learn to recognize these combinations of letters as a meaningful combination of letter combinations a bit more quickly. Anyhow, this was another demonstration that I hope was helpful enough to make the letter combinations meanings more visible, more understandable, and you can have already some preparations in these books that I have here, and you have a whole list of previously demonstrated words at that short URL there at my website. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like for more instructions and demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye-bye.